here, and we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
And yes, we all see different parts of this. You know, I hear Carlos or Jeff or, you know, or Rosemary or, you know, anyone, Bruce. And it's like everyone says something that's interesting and thoughtful and useful to add to the way to look at it. And we don't all agree. And we're sitting here and we're having this conversation in a way that unfortunately we weren't ready yet to have then.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And, you know, and my sense is, you know, I wish Harris had been more of Henry Scott, so because he might have helped us have this conversation. But now the wonderful thing is we're having it, and even more amazing, because I've talked to different people quite a lot about their kids, and our kids, our offspring, they're like at their own level in, of course, the crazy, you know, digital way, but they're having this conversation. And yes, not everybody's agreeing, and it's like, this is, you know, it's like, this is the scattering of the seed. It's like, as a person who grows stuff, it's like, here we are, and it's like, we're the crops, man. And then we planted crops, and there's another crop, and I'm not saying like I used to believe that, of course, they're going to change the world, but the world is changed, in some ways at least, in only partial ways, and I'm not saying we shouldn't notice all the ways it's not, but this is you know, we're an amazing family gathered here today, and somehow we're a family that actually can have these complicated and challenging conversations, and we're doing really well at it, you know? I mean, we're not even yelling at each other.
Well, one of the things I'm impressed about today is that I thought after 40 years the passions would have worn off, but I still detect a fair amount of occasional resentment that we were harmed in some way and that people didn't do things right. I detect even after 40 years. I think part of the fact that we're getting along is our testosterone levels are much lower and we're not quite as...
excuse me, mine aren't. Well, us women are higher, yeah.
Will Barack Obama suffer the fate of Harris?
Good question.
Think it out.
Well, you know,
he certainly
if we can stop talking about if we can stop talking about Harris for a minute.
Because he's getting, Barack is being attacked by blacks who are saying.
No, but hey, wait a minute. See, up till you know, up till now, we've done this miraculous thing because we haven't interrupted each other. And I thought I was listening to Bruce, and I'm not good at hearing two sides at once. So I would love to continue to find a way to talk so that people, even if they're going on longer than we can really stand, that they get to finish, and then somebody else gets to talk until we can't stand it, but they get to finish.
Right, well, I like the idea to talk about something other than somebody other than Harris, and I think of what's happened to Obama and the loss of passion. I gave a lot of money the last time, and I haven't yet start writing checks, and I will eventually, but I think there's a certain loss of hope that drove this past election. I really fear what made the last election work was that so many people came out to either give money or vote or get people who never vote to the polls, and that loss of passion this next time because we're disappointed that gay rights didn't happen right away or the military issue wasn't solved right away.
And Guantanamo is still open.
And an interesting thing that Harris said that sort of shocked me the other day, you know, he's an old Kennedy guy, and we all love FDR, but
the reason I made the equations was because today Barack was getting from the left, progressive, from blacks, and from the traditional conservatives.
Right.
Okay? Yes, I would agree with you that when he was elected, I would say this, he was elected not because of the old folks, but because of the younger folks, who, like the group that came to Westbury in the 60s and 70s, because in 1965 was when they passed the act, and which permitted blacks and whites to go to school and to do things, and they were willing to support him in that election. But now, governing and campaigning are two different things. And so those who were with him, like you were saying, you don't know when, Harris at that time brought the folks together, and then it turned against at
Right.
that point.
Well, you know, they say revolutions eat their children, and sometimes I think they eat their parent or their parents as well.
Just questions.
Carlos, can I ask you?